Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Wolters World, and today we're here in Prague in the Czech Republic. And today what we're going to talk about are some of the scams you might see when you are here in Prague, because I want you to be better prepared when you do come here. Now, I'm not going to say this is going to happen to you. I'm just saying, hey, keep your eyes out just in case, okay? And the first set of scams I'm going to talk about is actually about the money here. What you need to know is they use the Czech crown here, but when you actually do come here, a lot of places will offer the chance for you to pay in your home currency when you use your credit card, okay? And so there's going to be a lot of chances for some nefarious, not very nice things to happen, okay? First thing I gotta tell you about, there's some scams in terms of the exchange offices. Look, you will see tons and tons and tons of exchange houses here in Prague that will gladly give you a zero commission exchange for your dollars or euros. The thing is they may give you a 0% commission, but most of the time they give you a horrible exchange rate, okay? So you might want to avoid the zero commission exchange houses just because you're going to be losing so much out that way. And so you're thinking, well, what else could I do? Well, another kind of scam you might see is sometimes, not always, there's a lot less of these today, but sometimes you'll see guys on the street that will be willing to exchange money for you. Well, a lot of them might scam you as well. They might use bad bills or other country bills because you don't know what the Czech money looks like. And so it's best not to use those as well, because you know what? If you got a ton of cash in your wallet, they might think your wallet's better than, exchanging some money. So do have a heads up for that one. So if you're thinking, well, if I can't exchange my money and I'm going to lose this thing, I'll just use the ATM. Well, guess what? There's another kind of, not necessarily scam, but another bad thing about getting money that way. And that is when you put your card in and they ask you, oh, you want to take out some money. One, they're going to give you like this insane amount of money. Like, to give you an idea, right now it's about 23 to 1 to the US dollar. And so it would be, if I want $100, I would just take out, like 2,300 or 2,500 crowns, right? Well, they're giving you options for like 20,000. You're like, whoa, you don't need that kind of money, okay, when you're here. This is a really super affordable place to travel. But that's not the really killer one. You can always put other denominations or other amount and put in a smaller amount, just so you know that. You do not have to put in the huge amounts they give you. Second thing, and the one that really gets you, is when you use the ATM, it'll then give you the option when you're taking your money out. Well, from your bank account back home, do you just want us to already convert it to dollars or euros, because then you know exactly how much money is coming out of your bank? Oh, isn't that really nice of them? Well, here's the thing. They give you a horrible exchange rate that way. I know some of the ones I saw, remember, it's about 23 to 1 right now. They were giving me like 19 to 1. I'm like, that is a horrible exchange rate. Then you're like, oh my God, that's just bad. So make sure you decline conversion every time you take out money, okay? If you just take out money in Czech crowns and they're like, oh yeah, and then let my bank back home take care of that, you're gonna be way better off than letting the ATM already kind of convert it to your home currency, because you will get ripped off, okay? I'm just gonna tell you one right now. Now, the thing is, though, it's not just the banks that do that. Also, some of the restaurants, if you pay with credit card, they'll give you the option, oh, we could put it in euros or dollars for you. No, no, no. Just say, no, I'm cool with the Czech money. Just have me pay with that, and then you'll be fine. That eliminates that entire kind of scam kind of thing. It's not a scam, it's just that they're making more money off of you than they should. And so just have the heads up, always decline the conversion, all right? Now, I guess since I moved over to the restaurants, the money side of things, some restaurant kind of scams you might see, and I've seen a definite drop in a lot of this stuff over the years, but sometimes you'll see is they might overcharge you. So if you're not sure about your bill, make sure you ask for an itemized bill for what you had. I mean, because a lot of times they'll just write it down and tell you, and you pay cash right away. If you don't feel right, you can ask the itemized bill. It's okay. Also, another thing, it's not necessarily a scam, but something that upsets some tourists. When you go to a restaurant, sometimes they put down bread and stuff like that. That thing, the bread, you might have to pay for as well. You might think, oh, it's bread, it's free. Well, it's not always free. A lot of times it is, but just have a heads up for that, so you don't end up with like a little extra charge that you didn't really think you needed to have. So have a heads up for that. Now, as a tourist, you're always going to be kind of getting around the town. So some scams you might see in terms of transportation. The taxis here, they're not too bad. I mean, you do need to have a heads up, because sometimes they might take you for a ride just like anywhere else in the world. So what you might want to do is kind of, follow yourself on Google Maps or Waze from where you're going to where you want to be. Also, always ask your hotel about how much should the taxi be from where I'm going to be picked up to you or something like that. Just so you have a rough idea of what the bill is. Also, one thing I've seen, I've had a lot of times where the taxi drivers are like, oh, we don't have any change. yeah, I'm not going to tip you 50% on this bill. So make sure you have some small bills when you do take the taxis, just so you're not running into that issue of not getting your change back or them not having change. And you're like, oh, whatever, it's fine. Because a lot of tourists end up doing that. So it's great for the taxi driver, but not great for your wallet when you're here, okay? I think another transportation kind of scam thing you need to watch out for, if you're taking public transportation, especially when it's a heavy tourist transportation thing, like if you're taking public transportation up to the castle or down from the castle, make sure you're watching your stuff. There's a lot of pickpockets that work that area, so you do want to be careful, okay? I guess that leads us into like the normal tourist kind of scams you might want to look out for. Look, Prague is one of the best cities to come to in the world. The architecture that's here, the churches, Charles Bridge, the castle, the Jewish Quarter, the museums. I mean, this is a really awesome place. The food, heck yeah, the duck and dumplings and the beer. It's a fantastic place. But since it's so fantastic and so many tourists come here, you do have to watch out for some of the usual scam kind of stuff, you know, whether it is, you know, the pickpockets. You'll see, like, one of the big things I see is when you go to the astronomical clock, when people are watching it chime off, man, I won't look around and say, man, I could rob half these people because nobody is paying attention to their bags, to their wallets, to their backpacks. So you need to be careful with that. So pay attention when you're watching the astronomical clock. Also, when you're walking on Charles Bridge or the kind of tight spots, when you're going through the main, like, Old Town Square, Charles Bridge, up to the castle, there are some nefarious people around there, so do be careful. And some people you might see some beggars around. Do not give to the beggars. I know people think I'm a horrible person saying that, but a lot of the beggars here, they're professional beggars. It's not because they, can't work or anything like that. It's just like, look, I make more money begging than I do at a normal job. So why would I pass that up? I can understand that. So you'll hear some really sad stories from those beggars. Look, don't trust them. Okay, if you want to give, go ahead. But don't feel like you have to, because a lot of times it's not really the true story, okay? Another thing I would say is when you are paying, make sure you pay attention to what bill you give and what change you should get back. Because a lot of times it might be one of those, oh, I thought you gave me a 200 bill and not a 500 bill. And they might shortchange you there. I know last night, my buddy and I, we just got in, so we only had like 500 notes. So that's a little bit high. It's like a 20, and we're getting like ice cream. Well, like, hey, sorry, here's your 500, and you're supposed to get like 360 back. And she gave him 160. And he's like, excuse me. She's like, oh, you gave a 500. I'm sorry. Now, sometimes those accidents do happen, but it's kind of one of those things. I'm like, that accident happens a little bit too often for me. So make sure you always pay attention to what bill you're passing over for that, okay? Another kind of tourist scam I see, not necessarily a scam, but one thing that you're kind of upset with yourself. If you go get a beer on the Old Town Square, which is gorgeous, but remember, it's an Old Town Square, so the prices are going to be higher. Don't just order a beer, okay? Because if you just order a beer, they will bring you the most expensive beer they have. Make sure you look at the menu and go, I want this beer, the one that's a lot less than the really expensive beer, okay? Because that's where I've seen a few tourists get upset. I mean, they've gotten me before too, so I want to make sure it doesn't happen to you. Hey, I hope this video helps you enjoy more of Prague. If you do like these scam videos or other kind of travel videos, do hit that subscribe button, because we put out a new video every Wednesday and Saturday, because we like to help other travelers just like you. And we'd like to give a special shout out to all of our patrons on Patreon who make videos like this possible. If you want to find how you can help us out, go to patreon.com/woltersworld to find out more. And I'll say bye from Prague. And don't worry too much about the scams, because this city's so awesome and it's getting a lot better. So don't worry about it. Bye.